Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever been wronged by someone so deeply that you thought, I need to teach this person a lesson? The truth is, life is full of people who will hurt us, offend us, and provoke us. But the real question isn't about them, it's about you. How will you respond? Will you let their actions define your emotions, or will you rise above and redefine the situation? Mastering your emotions is one of the most profound and challenging lessons you will ever face, but it is also the foundation of personal power and growth. Emotions are the invisible threads that weave through every decision, interaction, and experience in our lives. They can elevate us to great heights or pull us into deep lows, depending on how we handle them. When someone wrongs you, the immediate surge of anger or hurt can feel overwhelming, almost like a wave crashing over you, leaving you scrambling for balance. In moments like these, it is easy to let that emotional turbulence dictate your actions. But the truth is, if you want to teach someone a lesson and rise above negativity, the first thing you must do is regain control over yourself. Control is not suppression. It is not about pretending the emotions don't exist or shoving them into a corner of your mind, hoping they'll go away. Suppression only compounds the problem, creating a reservoir of unresolved feelings that will eventually burst. Instead, true control is about acknowledgement and awareness. It is about pausing in the heat of the moment and saying to yourself, I feel this emotion and I know why I feel it, but I refuse to let it consume me. This act of acknowledgement is powerful. It shifts you from being a passive recipient of your emotions to an active participant in your own emotional journey. You are no longer at the mercy of what someone else has said or done. You are reclaiming your autonomy. This is the first step in teaching someone a lesson, not with words, but with the sheer strength of your ability to remain composed when others expect you to crumble. Consider this: when someone provokes you, they are often seeking a reaction. Their actions may be deliberate, designed to unsettle you, or they may be thoughtless, stemming from their own emotional chaos. Either way, when you react impulsively, you give them exactly what they want. You hand over your power, showing them that they can manipulate your state of mind with their actions. But when you choose to respond with calmness and restraint, you disrupt this dynamic. You send an unspoken message: you do not control me. I control myself. This is easier said than done, of course. Emotions, especially negative ones, have a way of demanding immediate expression. Anger urges you to lash out, while hurt tempts you to withdraw or retaliate. The key is to pause in that critical moment of emotional intensity. Take a deep breath, count to 10 if you need to. Remind yourself that this moment, no matter how charged it feels, is temporary. Your reaction, however, can have lasting consequences, not just for the situation at hand, but for your own sense of self. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and the sky is filled with lightning. You have two choices. You can let the storm knock you down, soaking you to the bone and leaving you battered, or you can stand firm, knowing that the storm will eventually pass. Mastering your emotions is like becoming that unshakable presence in the midst of chaos. It doesn't mean the storm won't affect you, it will. But it means you don't allow it to dictate your actions or define your state of being. One way to cultivate this emotional resilience is through self-awareness. Pay attention to your triggers. What kinds of words or actions provoke strong reactions in you? Why do they affect you so deeply? Often, the things that upset us most are tied to deeper insecurities or unresolved issues within ourselves. By identifying these triggers, you can begin to understand the root of your emotions and address them at their source. This level of introspection is not always comfortable, but it is essential for growth. Another important aspect of emotional mastery is perspective. When someone wrongs you, it is easy to see their actions as a personal attack, but often their behavior has more to do with them than with you. They may be acting out of their own pain, fear, or ignorance. Recognizing this doesn't excuse their actions, but it does help you to detach emotionally. It allows you to see the situation objectively rather than through the lens of anger or hurt. Detachment is not indifference. It is not about pretending you don't care or becoming cold and unfeeling. Instead, detachment is about creating enough emotional distance to think clearly and act wisely. It is about refusing to let someone else's actions dictate your state of mind or your sense of self-worth. This kind of detachment takes practice, but it is incredibly liberating. When you master your emotions, you also begin to notice how much energy you save. Reacting impulsively to every slight or offense is exhausting. It drains your mental and emotional resources, leaving you with little energy for the things that truly matter. But when you remain composed, you conserve that energy. You can redirect it toward your goals, your growth, and your happiness. This is the ultimate power of emotional mastery. It frees you from the chaos of the moment and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Mastering your emotions is not about being perfect or never feeling negative emotions. It is about learning to navigate those emotions with grace and wisdom. It is about choosing to rise above the noise and chaos of the moment and staying true to your own values and principles. When faced with situations that provoke negative feelings, one of the most critical skills to develop is the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Reacting is instinctive and often unfiltered. It's an emotional knee-jerk that serves no higher purpose other than releasing pent-up frustration or anger. On the other hand, responding requires a deliberate pause, a conscious choice to act in a way that aligns with your principles and long-term goals rather than being driven by fleeting emotions. This distinction, though subtle, holds the key to overcoming negative feelings and teaching others a meaningful lesson. Reactions often stem from a place of vulnerability. They are raw, unrefined expressions of whatever emotion has been triggered in the moment. When someone insults or disrespects you, the initial surge of emotion, whether it's anger, hurt, or indignation, pushes you to lash out or retaliate. But when you react impulsively, you hand over control of your emotional state to the very person who provoked you. It becomes a cycle. They push a button, you react, and in doing so, you validate their ability to affect your peace. Responding, however, is a demonstration of strength. It requires that you step back, even if just for a moment, and consider the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what is the outcome I want from this situation? And will my reaction serve that purpose, or will it only escalate the negativity? This pause creates space for reflection, for clarity, and for the choice to act in a way that serves your best interests rather than simply feeding the emotional fire. To respond thoughtfully, it's essential to cultivate self-awareness. This begins with recognizing your emotional triggers. What are the situations, words, or behaviors that tend to provoke you? Why do they provoke you? Often reactions are rooted in unresolved insecurities or past experiences. For example, if someone undermines your abilities or questions your decisions, it may stir up feelings of inadequacy or a fear of being disrespected. By identifying these triggers, you take the first step toward diffusing their power over you. Once you've recognized your triggers, the next step is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being present in the moment without being swept away by it. When you feel a strong emotion rising, take a deep breath. Focus on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. This simple act grounds you, pulling your attention away from the emotional storm and back to a place of calm and control. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate negative feelings, but it creates a buffer between you and your emotions, giving you the opportunity to respond rather than react. A thoughtful response often carries far more weight than an impulsive reaction. Imagine a heated argument where voices are raised and accusations are flying. In such a scenario, a calm, measured response can be disarming. It breaks the rhythm of the conflict, forcing the other person to pause and reflect. Your composure, in contrast to their chaos, becomes a silent yet powerful statement. It shifts the balance of power, showing that you are not easily rattled and that you operate from a place of strength and confidence. Responding thoughtfully also requires perspective. When someone's actions provoke you, it's natural to view their behavior as a personal attack. However, more often than not, their actions are a reflection of their own struggles, insecurities, or ignorance. Understanding this doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but it does help you to depersonalize the situation. By seeing their actions for what they are, expressions of their own internal conflicts, you can respond with wisdom rather than reacting out of wounded pride. One of the most effective ways to respond thoughtfully is by asking questions rather than making accusations. For instance, if someone speaks to you in a dismissive or disrespectful tone, you might calmly ask, "Is there a reason you're addressing me this way?" This approach does several things. First, it puts the focus back on them, prompting them to reflect on their behavior. Second, it demonstrates your self-respect and unwillingness to tolerate mistreatment without resorting to hostility. Finally, it opens the door for a constructive dialogue rather than escalating the conflict. Another aspect of thoughtful responding is recognizing when silence is the best response. Not every provocation deserves your attention or energy. Silence can be a powerful tool, conveying that you refuse to engage in negativity or be drawn into unnecessary drama. It's not about avoiding confrontation, but about choosing your battles wisely. When you respond with silence, you show that you are not reactive, that you value your peace more than the need to prove a point. It's also important to remember that responding thoughtfully doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's natural and healthy to feel anger, hurt, or frustration when someone wrongs you. The goal isn't to deny these emotions, but to channel them constructively. Instead of letting anger drive your actions, use it as motivation to set boundaries or to advocate for yourself in a calm and assertive manner. Responding thoughtfully requires practice. It's a skill that develops over time through repeated efforts to pause, reflect, and choose your actions wisely. In the beginning, it may feel unnatural or even frustrating to hold back a reaction. But with time, you'll find that this approach not only preserves your peace, but also earns you respect. Others will begin to see you as someone who cannot be easily provoked, someone who operates with dignity and self-control. When you make a habit of responding rather than reacting, you reclaim your power. You become the architect of your own emotional landscape, no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or the actions of others. The power of silence is a tool that few truly understand and even fewer know how to wield effectively. When emotions run high, the temptation to speak, explain, defend, or retaliate can feel almost irresistible. Yet it is in silence that some of the greatest lessons are taught and learned. Silence, when used with intention, can communicate more than words ever could. It forces others to confront their own actions, assumptions, and words without the distraction of your reaction. In a world where noise and instant responses dominate, silence becomes a rare and commanding force, especially when dealing with negative feelings or situations where someone has wronged you. Silence is not weakness. It is not about avoiding conflict or pretending that something doesn't matter. Instead, silence is a deliberate and strategic choice. It is the conscious decision to remove your emotional energy from a situation, leaving the other person to sit with the weight of their actions. When you stay silent, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing your pain, anger, or frustration. You take away their ability to manipulate your emotions or use your words against you. Imagine a scenario where someone hurls insults or accusations at you, expecting a heated response. They are prepared for a battle fueled by their own emotions and assumptions about how you will react. But instead of engaging, you remain silent. You meet their outburst with calm, unshakable stillness. In that moment, the dynamic shifts. Their words hang in the air, unreciprocated, forcing them to confront their own behavior. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their negativity back at them without any interference. The discomfort of silence can be profound. Many people struggle with the absence of noise, filling it with unnecessary words or actions to avoid facing their own thoughts. When you remain silent, you create a space where the other person must reckon with the implications of their behavior. They may try to provoke you further, escalating their efforts to get a reaction. But as long as you maintain your silence, you hold the upper hand. You demonstrate that you are not governed by their actions or words, and this can be deeply unsettling to those who thrive on conflict or control. Silence also allows you to reclaim your inner peace. When you choose not to engage in negativity, you protect yourself from being drawn into an emotional storm. You create a boundary that says, I value my peace more than the need to argue or prove a point. This boundary is not just for the other person, it is also a reminder to yourself that you are in control of your emotions and your energy. However, silence is not just about withholding words, it is also about your demeanor, your body language, and the energy you project. Silence must be accompanied by calmness and confidence to be truly effective. If you are silent but visibly agitated, tapping your fingers, fidgeting, or glaring, the other person will sense your discomfort and interpret it as weakness. But if you maintain a composed and assured presence, Your silence becomes unshakable. It conveys strength and self-control, qualities that command respect even in the most challenging situations. One of the most profound aspects of silence is that it gives you time to reflect. In the heat of a moment, it can be difficult to think clearly or make wise decisions. Silence provides the space you need to step back, assess the situation, and decide on the best course of action. It allows you to respond from a place of wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. In this way, silence becomes a tool not only for dealing with others, but also for navigating your own emotions. Silence can also serve as a powerful signal of self-respect. When you refuse to engage with negativity, you send a message that you will not lower yourself to that level. You demonstrate that your time, energy, and dignity are too valuable to waste on fruitless arguments or toxic interactions. This self-respect is not just about protecting yourself, it is also about setting an example for others. Your silence becomes a statement of what you will and will not tolerate, teaching those around you how to treat you. There is an art to knowing when and how to use silence effectively. It is not about remaining silent indefinitely or avoiding all difficult conversations. Silence is most powerful when it is intentional and purposeful, used as a tool rather than a default response. For example, in situations where someone has hurt or disrespected you, silence can be a way to show them that their actions have consequences. By refusing to engage, you create a space for them to reflect on their behavior and perhaps to feel the weight of their own choices. Silence can also be a form of resistance. In situations where someone seeks to provoke you or draw you into conflict, your silence denies them the reaction they seek. It disrupts their expectations and undermines their efforts to control the narrative. This resistance is not about passivity, it is about actively choosing not to participate in negativity. Another dimension of silence is its ability to command attention. In a world where everyone is quick to speak, those who remain silent stand out. Silence creates an aura of mystery and authority, drawing others toward you rather than pushing them away. It signals that you are confident enough to let your actions speak louder than your words, and this can be far more impactful than any argument or explanation. In many ways, silence is a form of self-mastery. It requires patience, discipline, and the ability to rise above the immediate pull of emotions. It is a skill that grows stronger with practice, each instance of silence reinforcing your ability to remain composed in the face of adversity. Through silence, you reclaim your power, protect your peace, and teach others lessons that no words could ever convey. Resilience is one of the most valuable traits a person can develop, especially when faced with challenges, betrayals, or emotional pain caused by someone else's actions. At its core, resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, to rise above adversity with a sense of strength and purpose that refuses to be diminished. Teaching someone a lesson does not always require confrontation or an outward display of power. Often, the most impactful way to communicate your strength is through your ability to bounce back stronger, more focused, and more determined than ever before. When someone has wronged you, the natural response may be to feel hurt, angry, or defeated. These emotions are valid, but resilience involves moving beyond them, not allowing them to define you or dictate your actions. The journey of resilience begins within as you take the time to process what has happened and redirect that energy into something constructive. Instead of being consumed by the negativity of the situation, resilience calls you to use it as fuel for your growth. It is not about denying the pain, but about transforming it into power. One of the most effective ways to build resilience is by focusing on your purpose. When you have a clear sense of who you are and what you are striving for, the actions of others lose their ability to derail you. They may cause temporary setbacks, but they cannot take away your vision or determination unless you allow them to. This is why resilience is closely tied to self-awareness and personal clarity. The more deeply you understand your goals and values, the less likely you are to be shaken by external circumstances. Resilience also requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. When someone mistreats you or undermines your efforts, ask yourself what you can gain from the experience. Perhaps it is a lesson in setting boundaries, a chance to reevaluate your relationships, or an opportunity to develop greater emotional strength. By reframing the situation, you take control of the narrative, transforming what could have been a source of despair into a catalyst for self-improvement. It is important to understand that resilience is not about pretending that everything is okay or suppressing your emotions. It is about facing reality with courage and choosing how you will respond. This often involves cultivating a mindset of gratitude, even in the midst of hardship. While it may seem counterintuitive, focusing on what you still have, your strengths, your support system, your opportunities, can help you maintain a sense of hope and perspective. Gratitude shifts your attention away from what was lost or taken and toward what remains, reinforcing your ability to move forward. Another key aspect of resilience is self-care. When you are emotionally drained or physically exhausted, it becomes much harder to bounce back from adversity. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. This means prioritizing activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, whether that's exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones who uplift you. Self-care also involves being patient with yourself, recognizing that healing and growth take time. Resilience is not about bouncing back instantly, it is about steady, intentional progress. Resilience shines most brightly when others least expect it. When someone tries to bring you down, they often anticipate that their actions will leave you broken or diminished. But when you rise above their negativity, refusing to let it define you, you send a powerful message. Your ability to thrive despite their efforts speaks volumes, showing them and the world that you are stronger than any challenge thrown your way. This quiet yet undeniable strength can leave a lasting impression, teaching them a lesson far more impactful than any confrontation or argument could. In demonstrating resilience, you also inspire others. People around you take notice when you navigate challenges with grace and determination. Your example shows them what is possible, encouraging them to develop their own resilience in the face of adversity. This ripple effect extends far beyond the immediate situation, creating a legacy of strength and empowerment that benefits not only you, but also those who look up to you. Resilience is deeply connected to self-respect. When you refuse to let someone else's actions dictate your worth or derail your progress, you affirm your value. You show that you are not defined by the opinions or behaviors of others, but by your own choices and efforts. This self-respect is a foundation upon which resilience is built, providing the inner strength needed to weather any storm. Building resilience often involves letting go of what you cannot control. When someone wrongs you, it can be tempting to dwell on their actions, replaying the events in your mind or wishing things had been different. But resilience requires a focus on what lies within your power, your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. By redirecting your energy toward what you can control, you free yourself from the grip of the past and open the door to new possibilities. Resilience is not a one-time achievement, it is a practice. Each time you face adversity and choose to rise above it, you strengthen your resilience, making it easier to navigate future challenges. This cumulative process transforms setbacks into stepping stones, building a foundation of strength that becomes unshakable over time. Through resilience, you cultivate a sense of confidence and empowerment that no one can take away from you. Emotional intelligence is a cornerstone of personal growth and mastery, particularly in navigating challenging situations where others may seek to provoke or hurt you. It is the ability to understand, manage, and express your emotions constructively while also recognizing and responding to the emotions of others. Developing this skill allows you to rise above the petty behavior or intentional harm inflicted by others, not by retaliating, but by maintaining your composure and focus. This quiet strength sends a powerful message that their actions have not diminished your ability to lead with clarity and purpose. One of the key aspects of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. When someone wrongs you, it is natural to feel a flood of emotions, ranging from anger and hurt to confusion or even guilt. These feelings are valid, but they should not be allowed to dictate your actions. Self-awareness helps you pause and observe these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It allows you to ask critical questions. Why do I feel this way? What is triggering this response? What can I learn about myself from this experience? By cultivating self-awareness, you become less reactive and more intentional in how you navigate difficult situations. Another component of emotional intelligence is emotional regulation, which involves managing your emotions in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. When someone hurts or disrespects you, the instinctive reaction may be to lash out or seek revenge. However, acting on these impulses often leads to regret or escalates the situation. Emotional regulation empowers you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It allows you to channel your feelings into constructive actions that reinforce your strength and integrity. Instead of engaging in conflict, you can focus on preserving your peace and dignity, showing that their behavior does not control you. Empathy is also a vital part of emotional intelligence. While it may seem counterintuitive, seeking to understand the perspective of someone who has wronged you can be incredibly liberating. This does not mean excusing their actions, but recognizing that their behavior is often a reflection of their own struggles, insecurities, or unresolved issues. By viewing their actions through this lens, you distance yourself from taking their behavior personally. You begin to see that their attempts to harm or provoke you say more about them than about you. Empathy allows you to release the weight of resentment, freeing you to focus on your own growth and well-being. Effective communication is another hallmark of emotional intelligence. When confronted with conflict or betrayal, how you express yourself matters. Emotional intelligence teaches you to communicate with clarity and composure, even in emotionally charged situations. This might mean setting boundaries, expressing your feelings without hostility, or simply choosing silence when words are not necessary. By communicating effectively, you maintain control of the narrative and ensure that your response aligns with your principles rather than being dictated by anger or pain. Emotional intelligence also involves cultivating resilience. Life will inevitably present challenges, and not everyone will treat you with kindness or respect. Emotional intelligence equips you with the tools to navigate these moments without losing your sense of self. It teaches you to view adversity as an opportunity for growth, to find strength in your struggles, and to emerge from difficulties with greater wisdom and perspective. This resilience is not only a testament to your emotional intelligence, but also a powerful way to teach others a lesson, showing them that their actions cannot break you. Self-compassion is another critical aspect of emotional intelligence. When someone hurts you, it is easy to fall into a cycle of self-blame or self-doubt, questioning what you could have done differently. Emotional intelligence encourages you to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. It reminds you that everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges, and that your worth is not defined by how others treat you. By practicing self-compassion, you build the inner strength needed to overcome negative feelings and focus on your own healing and growth. A particularly transformative element of emotional intelligence is the ability to reframe your experiences. When you feel wronged or disrespected, it is tempting to dwell on the injustice or replay the events in your mind. Emotional intelligence helps you shift your perspective, asking not only why this happened, but also what you can learn from it. This shift turns a painful experience into a stepping stone for personal development. It allows you to extract meaning and growth from adversity, turning what could have been a setback into an opportunity for transformation. Another layer of emotional intelligence involves recognizing patterns in your interactions and relationships. When someone mistreats you, it can serve as a wake-up call to evaluate the dynamics at play. Emotional intelligence encourages you to reflect on whether certain behaviors or circumstances are recurring, and if so, what changes you can make to break those patterns. This might mean redefining your boundaries, reassessing your relationships, or even reevaluating how you approach conflict. By identifying and addressing these patterns, you empower yourself to create healthier and more fulfilling connections in the future. Emotional intelligence also emphasizes the importance of letting go. Holding on to anger, resentment, or the desire for revenge only prolongs your suffering. Emotional intelligence teaches you to release these emotions not for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace and well-being. Letting go does not mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means choosing not to carry the burden of negativity any longer. It is an act of self-liberation, allowing you to move forward unencumbered by the weight of the past. Finally, emotional intelligence involves a commitment to continuous learning and growth. Every challenge, conflict, or betrayal is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself and others. Emotional intelligence encourages you to approach life with curiosity and openness, seeking to learn from every experience, no matter how painful or difficult. This mindset not only fosters personal growth, but also reinforces your ability to navigate future challenges with greater ease and wisdom. By embodying emotional intelligence, you become a source of inspiration and strength, teaching those who hurt you that their actions cannot undermine your resolve or diminish your light. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of personal growth and an indispensable tool in overcoming negative emotions and external provocations. It is the quiet force that empowers you to remain steadfast in your principles, goals, and values despite emotional turbulence or external challenges. When someone seeks to hurt or provoke you, it is your self-discipline that ensures you do not react impulsively or in ways that compromise your integrity. Instead, it allows you to navigate difficult situations with grace and poise, sending a clear message that your sense of self is not easily shaken by the actions of others. At its core, self-discipline begins with the ability to control your impulses. When someone wrongs you, the immediate instinct might be to lash out or retaliate. Anger, frustration, and the desire for revenge are powerful emotions that can cloud your judgment. However, self-discipline enables you to take a step back, resist the urge to act impulsively, and choose a response that aligns with your long-term objectives and values. This restraint is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it reflects immense strength and maturity. By mastering your impulses, you retain control over your actions and ensure that your choices are deliberate rather than dictated by fleeting emotions. Self-discipline also involves setting clear boundaries for your behavior and adhering to them, even in challenging situations. These boundaries act as a compass, guiding your actions and decisions when emotions run high. For example, you might establish a personal rule to avoid engaging in arguments that escalate into unnecessary conflict, or to refrain from reacting to provocations that do not serve your goals. By adhering to these self-imposed guidelines, you reinforce your commitment to maintaining your composure and integrity, no matter the circumstances. This consistency not only strengthens your self-discipline, but also sends a powerful message to those around you about your unwavering resolve. Another critical aspect of self-discipline is the ability to focus on what truly matters. When someone attempts to hurt or provoke you, it is easy to become consumed by the situation, replaying it in your mind or fixating on how to respond. However, self-discipline teaches you to redirect your attention toward your priorities and goals. It reminds you that investing time and energy into someone else's negativity only detracts from your own progress and well-being. By staying focused on your aspirations, you rise above the distractions and pettiness of others, demonstrating that your path is not easily derailed by external forces. This self-discipline also involves cultivating patience and perseverance. When dealing with emotional challenges or provocations, it can be tempting to seek immediate resolution or relief. However, self-discipline teaches you to embrace the process, understanding that healing, growth, and success take time. This patience allows you to endure discomfort without resorting to reactive or counterproductive behaviors. It also enables you to approach conflicts or challenges with a calm and measured perspective, rather than succumbing to the urgency of emotional impulses. By exercising patience, you create space for thoughtful reflection and meaningful action, ensuring that your responses are guided by wisdom rather than haste. Another dimension of self-discipline is the ability to manage your thoughts and emotions effectively. Negative emotions such as anger, resentment, or sadness can be overwhelming, particularly when triggered by the actions of others. However, self-discipline empowers you to take charge of your inner narrative, reframing negative thoughts and choosing perspectives that support your growth and resilience. For instance, instead of dwelling on how someone has wronged you, you might focus on the lessons you can learn from the experience or the strength you gain from overcoming adversity. This mental discipline not only helps you navigate challenging situations, but also reinforces your ability to maintain a positive and empowered mindset in the face of difficulties. Self-discipline also extends to your actions and habits. When faced with emotional challenges or provocations, it can be tempting to abandon your routines or indulge in behaviors that provide temporary relief but do not serve your long-term well-being. However, self-discipline ensures that you remain committed to the practices and habits that support your goals and values. Whether it's maintaining a regular exercise routine, dedicating time to personal development, or prioritizing self-care, these consistent actions anchor you in a sense of purpose and stability, even during turbulent times. By staying disciplined in your habits, you build resilience and fortitude, equipping yourself to handle challenges with grace and strength. Another facet of self-discipline is the ability to choose silence when necessary. Not every situation requires a response, and sometimes the most powerful action you can take is to say nothing at all. This restraint is not about suppressing your emotions, but about recognizing when engaging with negativity serves no constructive purpose. By choosing silence, you demonstrate self-control and assert that your energy and attention are too valuable to be wasted on fruitless exchanges. This deliberate choice to remain silent is a profound act of self-discipline that conveys strength and dignity, even in the face of provocation. Self-discipline also involves a commitment to self-reflection and continuous improvement. When faced with emotional challenges or conflicts, self-discipline encourages you to look inward and assess how you can grow from the experience. This might involve examining your triggers, identifying areas for personal development, or refining your approach to similar situations in the future. By engaging in this process of self-reflection, you not only strengthen your self-discipline, but also deepen your understanding of yourself and your responses. This commitment to growth ensures that every challenge becomes an opportunity to enhance your resilience and character. Finally, self-discipline is about taking responsibility for your actions and choices, regardless of external circumstances. When someone seeks to hurt or provoke you, it is easy to blame them for your reactions or to justify impulsive behavior as a response to their actions. However, self-discipline teaches you that you are ultimately responsible for how you respond to any situation. This accountability empowers you to take control of your narrative, ensuring that your actions reflect your values and goals rather than being dictated by external forces. By embracing this responsibility, you reinforce your self-discipline and affirm your ability to navigate challenges with integrity and purpose. Mastering emotional intelligence is a journey of self-awareness and growth that becomes crucial when facing negative situations or emotional challenges. At its essence, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and express your emotions in a way that aligns with your values and goals. It also involves recognizing and empathizing with the emotions of others, which provides valuable insight into their actions and motivations. When someone seeks to hurt or provoke you, your emotional intelligence becomes your greatest ally, allowing you to navigate the situation with clarity, poise, and wisdom. The foundation of emotional intelligence lies in self-awareness. This means being in tune with your feelings and understanding how they influence your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. For example, when someone criticizes or undermines you, the initial emotional response might be anger, hurt, or frustration. Emotional intelligence prompts you to pause and identify these feelings rather than react impulsively. By naming and understanding your emotions, you gain the power to choose how to respond instead of being controlled by them. This awareness extends beyond immediate reactions. It also involves recognizing patterns in how you typically respond to challenges and provocations, which allows you to refine your emotional responses over time. Self-regulation, another pillar of emotional intelligence, is the ability to manage and control your emotional responses. It's natural to feel a surge of emotions when confronted with hurtful behavior, but emotional intelligence enables you to temper those feelings and respond in a way that aligns with your intentions and values. Instead of lashing out or retaliating, you can channel your emotions into constructive actions that preserve your integrity and advance your goals. Self-regulation involves practices such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or simply taking a moment to reflect before responding. These techniques allow you to create space between stimulus and reaction, ensuring that your actions are deliberate and measured. Empathy is a vital component of emotional intelligence that allows you to understand and connect with the emotions of others, even those who may seek to harm or provoke you. Empathy doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. Rather, it's about recognizing that the actions of others are often rooted in their insecurities, fears, or struggles. By empathizing with their perspective, you gain insight into the underlying motivations behind their behavior, which can help you respond with compassion or strategic detachment. This understanding shifts your focus from taking their actions personally to seeing them as a reflection of their internal state, freeing you from the burden of carrying unnecessary emotional weight. Emotional intelligence also involves mastering social skills, which are essential in managing interpersonal dynamics, particularly in challenging situations. When faced with negativity, your ability to communicate effectively and assertively can diffuse tension and prevent the escalation of conflict. For example, using I statements to express how someone's actions affect you can convey your feelings without assigning blame or triggering defensiveness. Additionally, emotional intelligence equips you to navigate difficult conversations with tact and diplomacy, ensuring that your words and tone align with your intentions. These skills not only protect your emotional well-being, but also strengthen your relationships and interactions with others. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is the ability to practice self-compassion. When dealing with emotional challenges or provocations, it's easy to be harsh on yourself for feeling vulnerable or reacting imperfectly. However, emotional intelligence encourages you to extend the same understanding and kindness to yourself that you would to others. This means acknowledging your emotions without judgment, allowing yourself the space to process them, and reminding yourself that it's okay to feel hurt or frustrated. Self-compassion fosters resilience by reinforcing your sense of self-worth and reminding you that your emotions are valid, even in difficult circumstances. Emotional intelligence also emphasizes the importance of reframing negative situations. This involves shifting your perspective to find meaning or growth opportunities in adversity. For instance, instead of viewing someone's hurtful behavior as a personal attack, you might see it as an opportunity to practice patience, resilience, or assertiveness. Reframing doesn't deny the reality of negative experiences, but rather empowers you to choose interpretations that support your emotional well-being and growth. This perspective shift not only reduces the emotional impact of challenging situations, but also helps you extract valuable lessons that contribute to your personal development. Building emotional intelligence requires a commitment to ongoing learning and self-improvement. This involves reflecting on your experiences, seeking feedback from trusted individuals, and actively developing skills such as active listening, empathy, and conflict resolution. For example, you might journal about your emotional responses to certain situations, identify triggers, and explore strategies for responding more effectively in the future. Additionally, learning from others, whether through conversations, books, or workshops, can provide valuable insights and techniques for enhancing your emotional intelligence. This continuous growth not only strengthens your ability to handle challenges, but also enriches your relationships and overall quality of life. Emotional intelligence also involves cultivating resilience, which is the capacity to bounce back from setbacks and maintain a sense of optimism and purpose. When faced with emotional challenges, resilience enables you to recover quickly and continue moving forward, even in the face of adversity. This resilience is built through practices such as maintaining a positive mindset, seeking support from trusted individuals, and prioritizing self-care. By nurturing your resilience, you create a strong foundation for managing difficult emotions and situations, ensuring that you remain grounded and focused on your goals. Finally, emotional intelligence empowers you to set and enforce healthy boundaries. When someone seeks to provoke or hurt you, having clear boundaries ensures that you protect your emotional well-being and maintain your sense of self-respect. These boundaries might involve limiting your interactions with toxic individuals, communicating your needs and limits assertively, or choosing to disengage from situations that do not serve your growth. Emotional intelligence helps you recognize when boundaries are being crossed and equips you with the tools to address these situations effectively. By honoring your boundaries, you reinforce your commitment to your well-being and demonstrate to others that your self-worth is not negotiable. The greatest lesson is this: you are in control of your emotions, your reactions, and your destiny. Teaching someone a lesson starts with teaching yourself to be the bigger person. And when you do, you don't just overcome negative feelings, you transcend them. Thank you.